Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin, and today is Wednesday, February 19th. And today we get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine Clark is absolutely killing it in this business on both sides. And sorry, I just had a chat, wanted to make sure everything was coming through clearly. So Daine is marketing this business as well as doing real estate, and he inspires me so much. I really love his trainings, his style of training, and we truly are fortunate to get to learn from Daine. He's been very successful at this, and he has a very, like I said, a great way of conveying and just a great way of teaching us what he's been able to be successful with. So some of Daine's history: before Renatus, he was working two jobs. He was working for Apple, and he was actually in the back of the shop. He was actually kind of shy at the time, not a big people person, which I find just pretty amazing because he's so outgoing and just confident. He was also a roofer. So he was fell into roofing because that's what his dad did. And so with fair skin and red hair, being in the sun all day definitely wasn't very fitting for Daine. At the time, he was barely making ends meet, and he started looking for other income opportunities. And after finding Renatus, he plugged into the Renatus system and he listened to his mentor. He applied velocity banking to pay down debt and then used this as leverage as a down payment for a duplex. He lived in one side of the duplex and rented out the other. Fast forward to today, Daine has now raised over $9 million from investors to lend on various real estate transactions. And his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has now grown his team. He is recognized by our CEO as a key leader. He's on the PIT team, meaning he's a President's Advisory Council member in training. And I am excited to hear what Daine has to share with us this morning. Good morning, Daine.
Good morning, Keely. How are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Great. Good morning to you as well. Thank you so much, Keely, for that introduction. You are the best. And you know, I don't say this enough, that you seriously are the best. All the work and all the time that you put into running these calls and running your own business. I mean, it's one thing to be somebody that can go out and produce, but it's a whole new ball game when you get people who can go produce and come back and give servant leadership. Keely is absolutely the epitome of a servant leader, and it's been a lot of fun watching her grow as she goes through this business. But yeah. Oh, and I got an update too. I just put my $10 millionth to work in real estate just last week. And oh my gosh, I remember only imagining that was possible a few years ago, and oh man, we just hit it. I'm super humbled. Thank you so much, Bob Snyder, Renata, all of the people that were there when I was new, that were doing the morning calls, and there were, you know, all the people that were like, you can do it, you can do it, you can, you know. I'm just like, I don't know, and then you grow to that point where you're just like, okay, you know what, maybe I can do this, and anyway, you guys know the story. So, but yeah, thank you so much for everybody. Okay, so if you're new to the call, if maybe you've never been on before, I love interacting with people more than just yik yak and talk. So I would love, or the two things that I like to see people report on. Is one, report on how many people were you able to put through the system in the last 7 days? How many people did you do one-on-ones? How many people did you get to an intro presentation, a follow-up, a house tour, an intensive, a Super Saturday? I mean, you name it. How many people in the last 7 days were you able to put through the system? And I'm a huge believer in, if you didn't have any, report it. And again, just for the people who are new, and I got a ton of people already chiming in. Great job, guys. Thank you. Follow along. If you're new, go ahead and follow along and chime in how many people. But I was able, last year, I was able to narrow it down to seeing that I was able to do 261 101s and made pretty close to $900 per one-on-one that I was able to sit down with, put their orders in, get them going, and have them be a part of the team. And today we're going to go over part 2 to creative order entry. But man, I got some stuff that I'm going to go over next week that I'm super, super excited about that I'll be sharing with everybody. But so go ahead and if you haven't already chimed in, go ahead and chime in and report some numbers. I think I looked at it recently. Oh, let me look. I did a bunch last week. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. That's 6 in the last 7 days. I'm gonna report myself. 6 one-on-ones in the last 7 days, and then just a couple shout outs here. Oh, I'm not sure why it sent it to somebody privately. Here, I'll send to everyone. 6. Okay. So we've got Keely. I remember seeing she had a goose egg. Good job. Good job. David, one-on-one. Congratulations. I hope it went well. I think it's Renee, done again. 6 into the BIF system. Congratulations. Chuck had a goose egg. Esther had 4. Renee, 3 one-on-ones. Congratulations. Cecilia had 8. Congratulations to you. Jeremy Farrell had 4. No new people, but working on 3 follow-ups. Hey, that's how it works. The people who have already sent 1 event are way more closer to putting their order in than the person who's just coming tonight or tomorrow night or whatever. Those are the ones that you got to stay up on. Congratulations. Great job doing that. Ruthie had a goose egg. Watch what happens this next week. Roy had 1. Amy had 2 events. Let's see. First got our first indirect sale. We helped one of our direct students put their first order in. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That's such a fun day. I remember the first time I ever got my $100 override or a $1,000 override. And that is a day to celebrate. Let's get some more of that. Congratulations, Amy. Sandra and HS2 had a couple of goose eggs. Sheena had 3 in the pipeline, and you made 1 star. Oh my gosh, congratulations, 1 star. That's super, super exciting, super exciting. That's and that's well on your way to 5 star. I hope you're gonna make it to nationals this week, because there's something special for you if you make it there. Let's see, I lost my place. Rhonda made 5 star. Aha. Rhonda left, just made 5 star. Congratulations to you as well. And Rhonda had 7 people in the last 7 days. Oh, that's so awesome. So awesome. Congratulations, guys. All right. Now, the next thing that I like to do, and I do have tons of stuff planned for this training today. So I'd love to get into it as fast as we can, but we're here for you guys. So if there's anybody, and you know who you are, if there's anybody that's been working with someone in the last 7 days and they hit something, they're like, you know what, I got a question. How does it work when this happens? Or how does it work when that happens? Or when they say this, or when they do that, whatever. Somebody ask a question. We've been doing this for, I don't remember how many months now, but every single week, man, we got a load of so many questions from people that are working with real people that they need some help, because they've never seen that before, or somebody said this or somebody said that, and they need some ideas. And by golly, by you and me listening to other people's stories of breaking through struggle, I mean, there's nothing more inspiring than just hearing somebody else's story of breaking through a struggle. I remember hearing other people going through that and just being like, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this because I get to hear them. So you know who you are. Please, if you would hit star 6, I think it is, or star 6. Come off of mute, or if you're on the app, then go ahead and just unmute yourself on the app and just interrupt me. And let me know that you're the one who has a question.
Hey, Daine.
Today. I think I hear somebody. Yes.
Daine, hey brother. I love the roadmap meeting. We've been doing that for about a month now, and the results have been great. I'm actually trying to wrap up breakfast and head to another roadmap meeting, one-on-one, two-on-two, actually, here in 15 minutes.
Yes. Congratulations, brother.
My question is, and I'm sure a lot of people are wondering this, when we have a cancellation, right? When somebody sees the stuff, and I'm not at a point where we're able to meet weekly with weekly intros yet with our group. We've got a growing small budding community, so we're not there yet. But so I depend on a lot of online and you know, over the internet kind of recorded meeting stuff. So after we have
brother.
The first interview, I send them some stuff, I get them prepped. I'm now going to start incorporating a little bit more rapport building in that kind of interim between our first call and our one-on-one. So I'm going to continue to just send them some texts, send them some like videos to check out, things like that.
Yeah,
but what
little like Mark Kohler stuff, a little bit there, a little bit of testimonial, a little bit here. Love it, love it.
Exactly, more indoctrination stuff. You know, that's the term in the industry. But when the cancellation happens, when they get, you know, scared or intimidated or like, oh God, 20,000 or whatever, and they're like, you know, never mind, I got to cancel the one-on-one. I'm not interested. Whatever. When they make that decision and then communicate that to us, what's a good text? What's a good like one last communication to get them back on board?
To like try and pull them back. Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're asking. And so let me just share a quick story actually that happened to me. Now I haven't pulled everybody, you know, what do they call that? Raised everybody from the dead like this before. But I've got a way that at least gets me a little bit of closure in when that kind of thing happens. Now I am going to talk about one thing as well that I do that you know, you may or may not be doing this. But one thing that I love doing is I have a text message scheduler that will schedule out text messages, and it's free. It's called Message Plus. I don't know if you have to. It's made by the Verizon company, so I don't know if you have to have Verizon in order for this app to work or not. In fact, I'd love somebody to tell me if you do not have Verizon and you jump in and download this Message Plus app. In fact, here, let me share my screen. Share screen and start broadcast. Okay, so it looks like, where is it? Message Plus, right here. So down here at the bottom, and it's red, and it says Message Plus, and it looks like this. And so I have the ability to go in here over on the left, right, about halfway down, schedule messages. And so I can schedule messages and tell people. So I'll usually do, like, if I'm meeting with somebody the night before, then I'll send them a text message. And I send them a text message that lets them know, like, hey, I'm going out of my way to meet with you. And so you better be there, you know, in a nice way, in a very nice way. So for example, or I send it the morning of. So for example, like as soon as I'm done with this call, I think I mentioned that I couldn't sleep last night. I had some ideas that I was so excited about. I was up until like 4 in the morning, busting out some ideas that I'm excited to implement, and I'll be sharing this with you guys next week. But so I forgot to do it last night. So as soon as this call is done, here's what I'm going to do. And I won't schedule this, but I'm just going to jump on and say, in fact, here, I'll just do it right now. So I'm meeting with a gal and her husband named Amanda Chavez. And so I'll jump in here and I'm just going to say, and I have these little things in here that that say what exactly what do you call that, text replacements or something like that. So I'm going to meet her at a deal, and so the deal is in Taylorsville, and so I just go in here and I type my little short code that automatically generates this. And so it says, hey, I'm looking forward to meeting up at the deal today. I have an appointment across town before hours, so I'll be there just in time. Here's the address. See you there. And let's see, I'm meeting with her today at 5:30 p.m. So see you there, and I can either just say see you there, and I can just send that off real fast, and it's super fast, or I can just say see you there at 5:30 p.m. So this really helps. Now, if I was going to be meeting with her this morning, I had better have sent this last night. And this, I mean, this tells people like, hey, I got an appointment across town. I'm going to be driving across town before, or when I leave my appointment, I'm going to be driving across town just to meet with you. So you better be there, in essence, without saying that. And so let me go ahead and just send that real fast. And so now now let's say I'm going to do like a Zoom meeting. So I do have a Zoom meeting later on today with Wayne, and that is at 3 p.m. Mountain Time. He's in California. So here's the one if I'm going to do a Zoom call. So Wayne, Julian, and we're doing a Zoom. So I have my little short code that says confirm Zoom, and it says, hey, looking forward to meeting up at town or Zoom call. I'll be coming from an appointment across town, so I can be in front of a computer. At our meeting time, go ahead and click this link. It should take you right to my meeting so I can share my screen as needed. See you on there. Let's see, 3 p.m. Mountain Time. Yeah, 3 p.m. Mountain Time and 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I'm not sure if he has Zoom because I've never met with him before, so I have this other short code that says, in preparation on a computer, tablet, go to this thing, download this app, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, and so, bam, send. So this really helps my show up ratio for people because I send this to them either morning of if it's an afternoon appointment, or I send it to them night before if it's a morning appointment. So that's one thing that really helps. And I'm not sure if that, if this was for you or you already do this kind of stuff, but that helps. Now, let's say that I have somebody who cancels, and it's like, the night before, hour before, whatever, and they cancel and they say, hey, you know what, and they're basically writing you off, right? And so I hope that's, I hope this is what you're asking. Let me know if I'm going off the wrong tangent here, but here, I'm just gonna text my wife. Okay.
No, you're good.
And
keep going.
Okay, here, let's just do this, because this way I can save this. All right, text. So let's say I got somebody that says, I'm not, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. I say this. Basically validate them. Hey, no worries. Thank you for the heads up. Hey, no worries. Thank you. Stuff like that. Oops. I didn't mean to hit, I'm just excited. Hey, thank you for the heads up. Stuff like that. Validation. Then I'm going to say something like this. I'm going to say, sometimes, or like this. Hey, just out of curiosity. Sometimes when I have people cancel on me, cancel on me, it oftentimes really just means, and you don't have to say when they cancel on me, oftentimes when people say that they're no longer interested in meeting, a little bit softer blow there. But hey, I'm just trying to buzz this out as quickly as I can to just give you the gist. But it oftentimes really comes back to me needing to apologize for something. And then I'll give like an example, whether something I said, let's see, whether something I said or something you saw, or even something that you saw online. And then I ask him this question. Would I be safe to assume that something like this happened here? Oops. Man, I can't type under pressure. Oh, you guys got, I'm feeling pressured. No, I'm just trying to go fast for you. Okay, would it be safe to say, would it be safe to assume that something like this happened here? And I need to apologize for something for you, to you. Oh, dude, that gets them every time. I get a response like 90% of the time. Obviously, I have no idea what my actual statistics are, but I feel like I get people responding to messages like this, where previously they would just ghost me. They would just be like, "Yeah, no, see ya," or "I'm not," whatever. And then I would just be like, "Oh yeah, like, do you want to reschedule? You want what happened? Or, whatever." Like, and they just ghost, nothing. But when I put it like this, and now I make it personal, right? Because number one thing is, don't make it personal for you. Don't look at it personally for you. But for them, because the 4 core beliefs, where Renatus is the #1 income opportunity in the country. You know that because you've seen it from time and time again, whether in your own life or you've seen it in other people's lives, that they're just normal guys and gals, right? You've seen that. And so you believe that with every fiber of your being, that Renatus is the #1 income opportunity in the country. And number 2, that everybody needs what Renatus has. Because again, you've seen it. There's too many I've heard I tell myself this every day. I have heard too many stories to believe otherwise, that every single person needs Renatus, and or Renatus has something for every single human inside of this United States. And so believing that, you don't have to make it personal, right? And then the last 2 were, you're doing them a favor. You're doing them a favor by offering your time to do a roadmap conversation with them, to reach out to them and invite them to, enter into the BIF system, or come to a live Thursday meeting or Wednesday meeting or whatever, right? You're doing a favor. And the last but not least, that if they say no, that's their loss. All right, so having these 4 core beliefs, you can remove yourself from the personal aspect of this, but now you just make it personal for them. And so you say stuff like this. Hey, I don't need to apologize for something, do I? I mean, imagine yourself and somebody said this to you, and just imagine you just canceled like dinner plans for whatever reason, and you didn't give them any closure. And somebody responded like, "Hey, dude, I don't need to like apologize for something, right?" Imagine what you would do. You'd be like, "Oh, no, I just, this, or whatever." And so I've literally had people who wrote me off. I wish I could probably find the text message somewhere, but this was years ago. But somebody did that to me. They wrote me off like, I did a bunch of research about Renatus. I don't think I want to be a part of this. This is not for me. Like, that was his almost word for word. I did a bunch of research, and this is not for me. And I sent him this, and he instantly engaged with me again, because now it's personal. Now he's like, "Man, Daine actually like cares about me," and I was able to schedule another one-on-one. And I knew, he had not yet been to a one-on-one with me at all. Like, he just canceled straight up. Never been to a one-on-one. So I was like, man, he hasn't seen the value. It is totally his loss if he does not sit down with me for a one-on-one roadmap conversation, right? Totally his loss. And so I sent that to him. He re-engaged. I rescheduled another one-on-one again. And we sat down, and we sat down in that meeting, and I put his order in that very meeting. And then, we did a couple more I basically just picked up where we left off from that point, because I was able to re-engage him and really find out what his problem was. His problem wasn't what he told me, but now he told me, because now he's like, dude, Daine's a real guy. Like, this guy actually cares, right? So I hope that helps. And you know, in the both ways, in helping get you to that point where people just don't cancel. You know, when I word things like that by saying like, hey, I'm gonna be driving across town just so I can be in front of a computer to meet with you, I'll see you there, you know, and I don't, yeah, you get that. So hopefully that helps, as well as this little message here where you're just like, hey man, let's be real. Do I need to apologize for something? Because oftentimes when this happens, I need to apologize for something. You know, something was said, you saw something, I don't know. That's usually what happens, but what is it? What do I need to apologize for? So does that help? And do you feel like that answered your question? Did I capture your question correctly?
Absolutely. I mean, I appreciate it.
Cool. Sounds good, brother. All right. We're 8:34. Let's go ahead and dive in. That was a good one. I really wanted to spend a little bit of time on that one because that happens all the time to me, myself, people. Okay. So let's show you how I do some creative order entry really fast. Oh. All right, so I'm going to sign into my back end here. Now, last week, you heard us go through from start to finish how to put that order in. And so, you know, we talked about, you know, you do your three-phase plan. Here, you watch some education, you meet some people, you watch some, yeah, sorry, that's a guy. You watch some education, you meet some people, you make a bunch of offers, and you get somebody who say yes, and you do your deal, and so then you got your numbers, right? Does this make sense to you? Yes. Okay, cool. So here's how most people fund it. You know, we got cash credit, we got opening new lines like a get funded online type of program. We got 401ks, we got cash value life insurance, we got HELOCs, we got UGA, and I feel like I'm missing one, but regardless, right? So we have all of our funding options. Yeah, and so when I get people say, and they basically already know, like let's say and I'm going to show you some perfect examples here in just a sec. But let's say I get somebody who's like, cool, I have a little bit of cash and credit. I'm going to have to open up some new lines, and I got a 401k, whatever. But in essence, they're telling me that they have a little bit of the money now that they're going to be able to use. And so when I can see that, they have, you know, we're not just going off of only new funding, we're actually going to use a little bit of existing credit or a little bit of existing cash or existing 401k money. Then I say, cool, let me actually share with you, and I usually only do this if I know that they are going to use UGA anyway. I will go ahead and put in, actually, sorry. I want to show you two different ways to unlock people's education sooner. That's going to help them work towards the instant results, right? Because that's what everybody wants. They want to be able to like turn on their education and have near instant results. And so when you put that order in, the faster you can get somebody to watch that very first class, the more you'll be insured that they're going to be like, holy crap, this is awesome. Thank you so much for getting, you know, for having me be a part of this. And they just watched their first meeting or their first class. And so there's two ways to do this. So let's say, let me show you the first way, just really fast, because this one's really simple. And then I'll show you the second way because it's a little bit more complicated. But the first way is when you go and put in the order, right? So you have your conversation and how we're going to fund it. You say, all right, step one, we're going to create the account. Step two, we're going to find the funding. And here, let me just get rid of that. Step two, we're going to find the funding. Step three, we are going to unlock education. And then my personal favorite that I build this part. Like I got them to start thinking forward. Build. I say step four, I'm going to knock your socks off with how we set goals here at Renatus, right? We don't just set goals. We do this in different ways than I've ever seen anybody here, right? So as soon as we have that unlock session, then we can have this goal setting where I'm going to knock your socks off, okay? I'll be talking about this next week. But but anyway, so we get to that point and we're like, okay, yeah, so we go put the order in, and again, I know that we're going to use UGA, right, the very final funding option. Sorry. I'm going to show you the other one first, right? So let's say I know they have $2,000. So let's say I know they have their $2,000 that they can put towards their education, and you know, at least let's say anywhere between 2,000 to 4,000. And at this point, we're like, yeah, they might not use UGA. Okay, so UGA is not one that they're going to use. They're going to use, you know, cash credit, maybe 401k, but they're going to be able to fund their whole combo. So here's what I do, and I'm actually going to do this later today with somebody. And so, actually, yeah, you guys saw who I'm meeting with. So yeah, the gal that I'm meeting with tonight, I'll be doing this with her. So go in, same as always, you create the order. So here's my fast, and if you don't have the thing where you can just really fast, bam, have your order education, right? In fact, last week, I think I put it on my home screen. So bam, I click the home screen, or I click that button I made on the home screen that you can do through Google Chrome or Safari. And here I am, boom. And so I'm gonna put their order in, and here's how it looks. And I'm just gonna fly through this. So let's say, in fact, last week I put in an order named Jim Dandy. His phone number is 888-000-9786, whatever. And his email is email@ whatever, happyday.com. His address is 1234, city, state, zip. All right, bam. Now, here's where it gets important to hone in. And I'm just going to do this fast because, again, I want to be able to do both of the creative order entries. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make one order, and notice what I do. I'm going to uncheck the AIT Extreme Plus. So in other words, I'm only putting in an essentials. Okay, so I only put in an essentials because that's going to be $2,000 even, or 1,997. Okay, so I put in an essentials, and I go through, and we put it on the credit card right now. Like I say.
Sí, porque me voy a.
So I tell them.
Voy a ir a correr.
Here, I got somebody off of mute. Hang on. Mute all. Okay. So I tell them. Oh, sorry. I better say this. I tell them when we're going to create the account, I say, hey, I actually have a way that I can unlock education for you today. If we put in a minimum of $2,000, and you can even say, hey, this is even refundable. Like, let's say they're kind of on the fence, and it's like, hey, this is even refundable in 7 days. Like, you can try this out and make sure that you like it for 7 days. And if you don't, just get your money back. But let me show you how we can unlock education today for a minimum of $2,000, or basically for $2,000 even. Sorry, 1,997 even. Okay, I'm just so used to just using those numbers off the top of my head. And it's so funny because when we get to the point of actually paying, I say, oh, it's actually 1,997. It's not a full 2,000, but I say that like at the end. Anyway, so I say, yeah, so for $2,000, I can unlock a portion of the education today, and you could start watching today, and then we'll figure out the other 18 as we go. Right? And you saying you got the 7 days to try it before you buy, essentially. Okay, so that I said that. We go over here, we put in the $2,000 essentials only order, and you guys saw last week, and if you didn't see last week, then just go watch that one last week, because I'm not going to go all the way through to this point. But in essence, we put in 1,997. We put it in, sign. There's going to be 3 signatures: the indemnification and the receipt, and then the terms and conditions. It's going to set up the account. It'll have a little pop-up that has their phone number, and put in your security phrase question just in case you lose your password. So we just put in essentials only order. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to go right back to your education order entry, and you're going to do another one, right? So you're going to do 2. So now you're going to do the same thing. You're going to say Jim Dandy, phone number, and I can't remember what the phone number was, and email, and whatever the email was, happyday, whatever, address, city, state, zip, next. Now, pay attention here. We're going to uncheck essentials, and we're only going to leave check the AIT Extreme Plus. Now this is assuming the combo, obviously. You could do this with either one. You could do this with Advanced, where they put 2,000 down now and they're going to come up with 8,000 later. I don't sell a lot of those where it's cash. If, you know, if they got $8,000, let's just do a UGA Extreme Combo. But yeah, so I'm unchecking everything else. I am checking AIT Extreme Plus. And now I go through just like I taught last week, because we're not going to do this one today. I put in, hey, I'm going to create a pending account for the other 18. Right? And if you ever get the question of like, oh, well, am I committing to buy it? No, you're not committing to buy this. Watch this. Watch what I do. I'm going to type in pending right here. Okay, because the corporate knows what we're doing. So I go in pending, and we create the account just like we just did the essentials. But we paid for the essentials. We didn't pay for this, and I totally hit the button. But oh well, we'll go back through. And you go through it like normal, right? And because you went through like this, it's going to actually ask them to create their password again. And so you click here to proceed, and just, hey, just enter the same password again. It's going to tell them, put the password in and confirm the password. And you tell them, like, I mean, if you remember what you put in just a few minutes ago, just put that in. If you don't remember what you put in a few minutes ago, then just put something new in. And it's going to be whatever we do on this time. Yeah. And oftentimes, if they're like, I don't know, just put your first name with a capital first letter, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like, that's what I always do, is just beginning process. And then you can always change it later. I almost say, like, we'll just make that your temporary password for now, just so we know you can get in. And so then we create the order for the 18,000. Now notice what happens. They have just bought their full cash essentials, and we have a pending order for the other 18,000. And that's a full combo right there. But dude, notice they are watching their education today. They get to start watching their essentials classes today. And you can assign them their first class, where as you were going through the 3-phase plan, you can say, cool, I actually want you to watch this class right here, so we can start on this process of getting you to what you really want, getting your goal. Right? Let's do that in Rainbow, actually, right? And I actually use Rainbow sometimes on my little napkin drawing here with them, right? So to get your goal. So I'm going to have you start watching this class today or tomorrow, depending on what time it is. So you can start working towards your goal. And you can start coming to all the events, you can start registering, all that kind of stuff. Okay? And so gets them to that instant results, instant gratification, when you know that they're going to be able to afford either the Extreme Plus combo, but just not today, or maybe an advanced combo, but just not today, but they have a couple grand in their pocket on a credit card, cash, whatever. Or let's even say, they're going to borrow some money from the 401k. Let's say they're going to borrow like $6,000 from their 401k, then you just put in, actually, you know what, here, I'm going to show you. If you want to go to the next level of things that I've done, watch this. This is super cool. Because let's say they have more than $2,000. Let's say they have more than $2,000 that they're going to put down, and we know we might use UGA. You don't have to use UGA, but watch this. So as I'm telling them the same thing, I say the same words. We're going to create the account, co-funding, unlock education, and when we get to this goal setting session, like, I'm going to knock your socks off. My goal is, by the end of this meeting, if you do not see exactly what you're going to do for the next few months, then I have failed. All right, I say stuff like that, okay? Then I have failed. If I can't get you to the point where you can see exactly what you're going to do for the next few months, then I have failed in this goal setting session. Exactly. I will stay one step ahead of you as you're going through this process. Okay, so now I say that, but instead of using this $2,000 number, I'm going to say a minimum of $4,000. Okay, so 4,000 plus, actually it's really like 4,025. $4,025 or more, and we can unlock your education today. So and they say, okay, great. And I say, all right, let's go ahead and just set that up. We can go ahead and just set that up today. really fast. And so I'm going to go over to my order entry button really, really fast. Or, I mean, you guys saw I have it on my home screen too. And we start putting in the order. So we got Jim Dandy, phone number, email, address, city, state, zip, yada, 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 okay? And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave it exactly the same. And again, this is assuming that we're gonna do Extreme Plus combo in this case. Now you can do this with just Essentials. You can do this with Essentials AIT, either way. But on this one, you're just gonna do whatever they're planning on doing anyway, right? We're not gonna do creative like, oh, this one will be Essentials and that. No, this is like, so in this case, we're just gonna say the whole combo for this example. But you could do this with any one of the options. Essentials only, Essentials advanced, advanced only. I've never done one of those before. AIT plus Essentials, so Extreme plus combo, or Extreme plus only, which again, I've never done that one. Never done that one either. Okay, so we leave it the same. And instead of saying pending, because again, remember they said they had a minimum of the 4,000. Now they can, and I can assign their first class today, and I can schedule that goal setting session today at a future date, not today. We can schedule that goal setting session today in a few days from now. Probably, I would say within, I don't know, 7-ish days, because there's a right of rescission period within 7 days. And I want to make sure that they have value inside of that recession period, and maybe right after, something that they can look forward to. All right, so maybe you do it right before, you know, either way. Okay, but here's what I'm going to do. So I clicked on finance. Whatever dollar amount they're going to put in, you can change that, add $25 to it for the finance application fee, and you go ahead and put in their card. You go ahead and put in whatever it is that they do. Okay, and so you put that in, and now, but again, you got to make sure you say, hey, we're going to use this UGA company, right? And here's what we're going to do. Even if we don't use them, we're just going to apply. Even if we don't use UGA at the end, like let's say we find the whole 20,000. We find the whole 20,000, and we don't even need to use UGA. And I've already been working a little bit with corporate to make sure that this works for the billing. And obviously we haven't seen Helios roll out yet for the Renault's billing, but I'm pretty sure this is still going to work, especially because come to nationals, you'll see. Come to nationals, you'll see. This is still going to work. So, oh, where was I? Oh, okay. So we put in the $4,000. I tell them UGA. So UGA, if we use them, we're going to apply for them, but we may not even use them. If we find the full 20, then we don't even have to use them. But let's say we find, you know, 12,000, 15,000. I got tons of stories of people who found 8,000, who found 12,000, 15,000. I even have somebody who found $18,000 and could not find one more penny. And so we used $2,000 of UGA and $18,000 in other funding to get going. Okay, it doesn't matter. And so I tell them, whatever, we're going to just go ahead and apply for the full 16,000 because we're putting in 4,000 today. And so they're going to unlock your education just for putting in the application. But UGA isn't even going to know about it yet. If we don't find the full 20,000, then I can go back, and it's super customizable. I can go back and say, oh, we're going to change this much to UGA, this much to, private financing, self-financing, whatever. And so we put this in, okay? And I'm not going to put it in the order here because it would make us go through the UGA process, do an application, all that kind of. We don't have time for that today. But in essence, you just follow the prompts, right? It's going to just have you go through all the prompts. And so let me actually go back into my business center, and because I have a couple of these. All right, let's just use this one. So, all right, so here we have an account exactly like what I just shared with you. Okay, this is and this is the one that we didn't actually fund the 4,000. He ended up doing something. We ended up doing something else for him, not using UGA. But I still have this. I still have the ghost order in here, or whatever they call it, the pending order. Okay, so let's say they had paid $4,000, right? We put this in as but let's say this was a credit card. So they paid $4,000. The amount down here is zero. Their education would unlock that day if these were credit card account or transactions. Their education would unlock literally today if that 4,000 was from a card, you know, however, debit card, credit card, either way. Now here's where this gets really cool. If I go in and I change this, even if I add 1 penny to this $3,998.81, notice what happens down here. It says, oh, we are no longer at $0, right? Now, again, you want to do this after their education unlocks. So education unlocks, and then we come back in and I'm going to change this down payment, okay? Because let's say they're applying for credit cards through Get Funded Online or something. I mean, that's going to take them longer than 7 days. And so in essence, this UGA order would complete, go to commissions, pay out. They'd be locked in at the $580 a month payment, which, you know, they're going to fund they're going to fund it with other ways. So we're not going to do that. So when I do this, now this is very important. When I do this, it puts this account in limbo because it says, oh, there's money left to pay. But they can still watch a few of their classes, not all of them. They can still watch a few of their classes. And so they're working on finding the other 16,000, however much we can. And I make sure, again, disclosures. If this goes past, you know, I usually give them like 10 to 14 days. If this goes past 14 days, then it's going to complete. And whatever money we put in, then that's what the payment is going to reflect. You know, so if we left it like this, it's going to complete after a couple of weeks. And so the payment would be locked in at the $580 a month. But let's say as they're working on finding the other 16,000, let's say they pulled another $6,000 from their 401k, I don't know, or they got a $6,000 0% credit card. So now they have $10,000. And so I go in and I save that down payment, and you'll notice, oh, we got $6,000 more to pay. But so, and now let's say we're 10 days past today's date where the rescission period started. As soon as this gets to zero, the account will complete. They will send it to UGA like that day, right? So there's no going back. As soon as they go past the 7-day rescission period, and as soon as this gets down to zero. So again, this gets complicated, or not complicated, but this gets, you got to make sure you follow some certain steps because things are going to happen. And I know this because I made a mistake once, and actually went to UGA. Even though he had the full 20, we had to call up UGA and pay off UGA instead of just paying the full 20 to Renatas. I mean, they didn't charge any interest, but man, UGA takes like 45 to 60 days to pay out the commission. And so I still got the 10,000 in commission when I did that, but I mean, it took like 2 months because UGA is kind of slow. So pay attention right here. If I put in $6,001.20 and we're 7 days past the original order date, this is going to complete. It's going to go to UGA, and so they'll have about $10,000 in UGA, and they'll have about $10,000 that they put down from other sources in UGA. And the payment would be, well, it's really simple math, $10,000 times 0.0362, so $362 a month. Okay, so and you can plug that into whatever. So let's say they put down $5,000 and so they got $15,000 in UGA. There's $543 a month. Let's say they put down $12,000 and have $8,000 in UGA. They got $289 a month. Okay, so that's your equation. And that's for the minimum down payment formula. Okay, now let's say that they still have credit cards coming. You want to make sure that whenever they have available, just put it in, right? Don't wait, just put it in. So let's say they have a card come in the mail and it's $6,000, but they have 2 cards coming in the mail. They have 2 $6,000 cards coming in the mail. One just showed up and they're like, and they're like, hey, this one, you know, I had a card show up. Let's put this one in, and it's gonna be $6,000. Notice that I have this at 6,001, and so I'm going to go in and I'm gonna put in a $6,000 card, and this is still gonna show $1.20. Because it still shows $1.20, you still have that limbo phase, that limbo stage, if you will. And the order will not complete. And so when they get that next $6,000 card, then you come in here and you just change this to 16,000. And so here we are, 12,000. So you put in that next $6,000 card, but we still have $1.20 that it says down here left to pay. So the education is still in limbo, They still can watch a few classes, but we're waiting. We're waiting for, you know, maybe one last card come in the mail, or UGA, or sorry, not UGA, 401k loan that's coming through that they're gonna fund, you know, whatever. They got more money coming. Now, as soon as we're like, all right, we got it, this is exactly how we're gonna finish it, then all you do is go back and change this to, you know, whatever that is. So in fact, let's do 15,900, you know, whatever, 997.8, save. Did I do that right? Oh, I messed it by $1. 8, save. So let's say we had put in $12,000 and I just changed this down to whatever, how much money they actually put in. In other words, I just changed this down payment to reflect however much we put in the system and all these cards up here. Then it's going to show left to pay 0, and we're 7 days past rescission period. Bam, the account completes. Renatus sends off the application to UGA. In this case, they send an $8,000 thing to UGA. UGA has no idea about this until this point, right? I've had these go out a couple of weeks just like this. UGA didn't even know about it. So UGA didn't even know about it, and bam, it completes, and they have their full combo completed, ready to go, and their payment is, you know, whatever that was, $289 a month and 60 cents, and they're in. And they're going, and they've already been watching their classes. They've already been coming to events. They've already been registering. They've already, you know, they know maybe a little bit about the marketing side, and they're excited to start doing that. But they're going. Yeah. So this is one way. I don't do this every time. But this is one way that's a little more complicated than usual, but you can unlock education fast while they're working to find the rest of the money that, you know, however much they can find to get going. Oh, I had one more thing I wanted to say. Oh, what was it? One more thing I wanted to say about, you know, if it comes back to me, then I'll chime into the comments. Now, I probably have tons of comments here. What if they, no call, no show? So yes, Jeremy, this does unlock education when they do this. If it starts off at 0, and you know, so you don't go change that down payment immediately. You wait until corporate verifies the signatures and turns on their education. As soon as it turns on, I basically wait 24 hours. As soon as we put this in, I wait 24 hours, and then I go in, I change the down payment, and they still have access to watch a few of their classes, right? At least the first couple of classes that I assign to them, and they get watching. Yes. So I can't remember what the thing was that I was going to say. Anyway, if it comes back to me, I'll just chime into the comments afterwards. So we're over the hour though. We got to get going. So if you have questions on this, I know it's a little bit complicated, but if you have questions on this, then you should go ahead and comment into the Facebook, and so that way everybody can see your questions. Because I guarantee if I miss things, somebody, and you have a question, somebody else probably thinking the same question, or they're going to be grateful that you asked that question and be able to see that answer. So anyway, guys, stay classy. I will see you all next week. I've got some exciting stuff. I'm going to be sharing the new development that I had in this goal setting session and sitting down with people next Wednesday. So don't miss it. And happy Wednesday. And Stephen, congratulations. You're probably actually already gone, but congratulations on your one-on-ones. Go get it, brother. Go get it, brother. All right, guys, have a good one. One last check for comments. Bum, bum, bum. Cool. Thanks, guys. Love you all.